Thank you for joining us on National Focus. I'm Mervin. Coming up, the Prime Minister and the members of Cabinet dialogue with residents of Petite Savanne, and the Ministry of Education embarks on a two-day workshop this week. Stay with us for details of these and other stories after this.
Think water, think life. Water refreshes, restores, cleans and enhances growth. Potable water is a benchmark for development. DOWASCO is serious about its mandate to ensure easy access to potable water island-wide and provide sewage services for a cleaner environment. DOWASCO is your water and sewage company.
Thank you for staying with us. The Honorable Prime Minister and the Minister for Finance, Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit, has told residents of Petite Savanne that money is not an issue when it comes to the resettlement of the community of Petite Savanne. The Honorable Prime Minister was addressing residents at a meeting to discuss matters and their concerns. The meeting was held at the Goodwill Parish Hall on Monday.
I give you the assurances as the Prime Minister of the country and the Minister of Finance that in respect to your resettlement, money will never be the consideration. Whatever it will cost to resettle you and resettle you comfortably, this government, with the grace of God, will find the resources and make them available.
Honorable Skerrit told residents that although resources are limited, government has responded to their needs.
If you go to New Jersey or you go to Louisiana, storms that have happened 10 years ago, people are still waiting on the federal government to help them. But we do not have a largest of resources. But with what we have, I believe we have done a fantastic job in responding to disaster of Eric.
The Dominica leader had this message for residents.
My message to you, as the Bible says, is that we must think positively. It is when you think positively, you'll do positive things. If you think negatively, you'll do negative things. And when we do negative things, who does it affect? It affects all of us. So let us, in a respectful manner, in a spirit of unity, understand that we have to work together. And Dr. Darrow put it rightly. When the storm visited us and affected Petite Savanne in particular, there were no callers. People were not talking to each other, were speaking to each other, working together, looking for those who were missing. So let us keep that unity, understand that we can only achieve if we are together.
The Honorable Parliamentary Representative for the Petite Savanne constituency, Dr. Kenneth Darrow, thanked Prime Minister Skerrit and the members of Cabinet for the support to the Petite Savanne community.
Mr. Prime Minister and your Cabinet, sir, on behalf of the Petite Savanne community, I want to say a tremendous thank you for all the assistance that you have given to the Petite Savanne community since tropical from the river. And I'm sure, and I want to say thank you for all of those who cannot say thank you, or those who choose not to say thank you. Because I would have made my research, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, that nowhere in the region or in the international community has any government moved in with such swiftness and with such compassion towards its citizens.
Work is progressing on the homes for the resettlement of the community of Petite Savanne. On Monday, Cabinet met with residents of Petite Savanne to discuss the way forward. Honorable Reginald Ostro is the chairman of the Resettlement Ministerial Committee, and the Minister for Housing told residents that work on the houses have commenced.
As soon as we were done with Bellevue Chopin, we already had the land, so we didn't have to acquire additional lands. In Bellevue, we had to acquire 49.9 acres of land. Negotiations are still ongoing, but I've been advised that it will cost us a little more, somewhere between $2 and $3 million, just for the purchase and the acquisition of the land. And the houses will be built in two phases. On the lower slopes, we'll be putting another 50 petrocasters. The work on that has started. We have done the foundations about 12, and work has started on that. Now, it was forest. Okay, it was a forest, and so you had to do the clearing, you had to do the designs, you had to do the surveys, you had to do the layouts, you had to do the setbacks, and of course, thanks to our Venezuelan friends, we didn't have to worry about the financing, because not only did they give us the houses, but they also provided monies for the labor and the concrete foundation on which these houses are built.
Honorable Austria noted that some of the residents of Petite Savanne who own lands but do not have houses will also be provided with the keys to new homes.
We have estimated that in Petite Savanne we have about 280-something households that had to be moved. But there were also persons with lands in Petite Savanne and houses were not built on it. So we also provided for persons who had lands but they had no house, because they themselves have to be moved from Petite Savanne. And we're hoping that with these 50 houses and the rest of the development that is coming through, that these people who never had a house will have the opportunity to have their keys and to own a home for the first time in their lives.
The Honorable Minister stated that Montreal Management Consultant Establishment was contracted to make the dream of a new community for Petite Savanne a reality.
The balance of the project is being handled by the MCCI Group. That's a company who's coming in to assist us in developing a town in Belleville-Chopin. And the designs and the layout of the community represents a town. And they'll be building from 2-bedroom units to 3-bedroom units to 4-bedroom units. That is what that will be constructed right there in Belleville-Chopin for the residents of Petite Savanne. And provision is being made also for commercial area. So for those of you who worry about employment, 24 of those units will be for commercial areas, for small retail shops, for the barbers, for the hairdressers, for the bakeries, for the pharmacies. That will be provided for as part of development.
On June 16, an agreement was signed between the Government of Dominica and Montreal Management Consultant Establishment for the construction of the Petite Savanne community. Honorable Austria anticipates the completion of 44 houses by December. The Ministry of Education has embarked on a 2-day workshop this week to sharpen the skills of about 100 primary and secondary school teachers in preparation for the new school year. The workshop is expected to sensitize teachers on relevant issues pertaining to their growth and development while sharpening their skills and delivery competence. The overall aim is to help teachers provide quality education to meet the ministry's goal of every child succeeds. At a brief opening ceremony at the Newtown Primary School on Tuesday, Assistant Chief Education Officer Dr. Jeffrey Blaise told the teachers what to expect at this year's workshop.
During the course of the next 2 days, today and tomorrow, you will gain knowledge on many issues. Obviously, the most important one relates to teaching and learning. But there are a number of other important issues which we want to speak with you about. One of the most important one is the issue of teacher efficacy. And that is, what is it to be a teacher? Is it about having a job? Is it about getting a salary? Or is it someone who is attempting to the best of their ability to make a profound difference in the life of a child?
Workshops such as this are conducted yearly by the Ministry of Education. Dr. Blaise told the teachers that this year the focus will be on 2 important factors that influence their work as educators.
As young teachers, you will face many hurdles, and it is our responsibility to ensure that you are aware of some of those challenges which you will face and prepare you for dealing with them. But one of them, well, I should say 2 of the most important factors which will influence your work are your attitude. How do you come to the profession? What is your perspective on teaching? Whether you really want to be a teacher. And many of you may not want to be a teacher initially, but you have to grow into the profession. You have to give yourself an opportunity to develop. You cannot come with a negative attitude. And the other one is, how prepared am I to deliver? And we'll talk a lot about that during the 2 days.
The ministry is also concerned about how teachers are tired in the classroom. Dr. Blaise says in addition to upgrading their knowledge and skills, teachers should present themselves as professionals.
We want to ensure that teachers view themselves at the top of the professional scale, and therefore they portray themselves in that regard. And once you see an individual, you say, this must be a teacher because the way the person carries themselves. We are not very, very happy with that, and we are going to be talking a lot about that in the today's session to ensure that our teachers take up the role as true professionals.
42 secondary school teachers and 60 primary school teachers are part of the workshop, which concludes on Wednesday. You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
Introducing the Government of Dominica Internal Directory mobile app, available for download from the Google Play Store, One Mobile Market, and the Government of Dominica's website. Access to all ministries and sub-departments' phone, email and office addresses and websites. Simply select a ministry and the sub-department. You can dial directly from the app or save the numbers to your phone contacts. It's convenience at your fingertips.
Is my passport ready for pickup? Good. It really works.
Download the Government of Dominica Internal Directory mobile app today.
Welcome back. Director of Telecoms Bennett Thomas has articulated government's vision to expand the reach of the Center of Excellence across Dominica. The Center of Excellence, built in collaboration with the Government of India, is housed at the Dominica State College. The center was created to generate information communication technology awareness in Dominica, provide employment in the field of ICT, make courses available to Dominicans in a variety of information technology subjects, and upgrade the skills of ICT faculty in all schools on the island, among other things. While speaking at the orientation opening ceremony of the Dominica State College on Monday, Thomas noted government's intention to bring the services of the Center of Excellence to rural areas in Dominica.
We are seeking to develop what we call a national broadband infrastructure. That is, putting fiber to as many areas in Dominica as possible, so that if you are coming from La Plaine, you are coming from Dillis, you are coming from Grand Bay, etc., you may not necessarily in the long run have to leave those places and come to the center here, or the college or the Center of Excellence. We can put the facilities and extend it via broadband access. You can have your video conferencing equipment, and you can have your expert teachers from here lecturing at specific times. That's our vision, and we are working hard towards that. We are working with the college on those things. We are working with the ministry and the minister.
He says government is also considering building 4 smart centers around the island.
That means you are going to have real top-of-the-line centers at 4 different locations for now. And the intent here is that we can extend those classes via video conferencing, etc., so you can have greater access to education. These are some of the things that the government is doing and seeking to do so that we can ensure that we have a good expertise of local persons here.
3 Indian ICT specialists are currently conducting a train-the-trainers program at the Center of Excellence to hand over the facility to trained local professionals in 2 years. In more news, the regional launch of the Financial Information Month has brought to the fore a major issue preventing the growth of businesses in the Caribbean. On Tuesday, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank Regional Partners launched Financial Information Month. The theme, Create, Optimize, Pursue, Embrace Opportunities. Representatives for Dominica Agency Manager for Surgical Life Incorporated, Brenton Hillier, gave a presentation that identified fear as a major deterrent for entrepreneurs. Hillier is challenging entrepreneurs to be open to new ideas and unexplored territory.
We in the Caribbean, it was said earlier, we seem to be conservative. There is a tradition in the Caribbean, and it's as if this tradition limits our ability to expand. We are afraid to step out of this boundary. But when you have to think about it, everything around us, everything at some point was a new idea and was at some point unexplored territory. And one day, while at home, I was watching the Food Network and I saw this picture, a sandwich with only French fries and salad. And if you have to investigate, this is in high demand in the US. But would somebody in the Caribbean be willing to try something like this? No, we are afraid. This is new territory for us. What is going to happen? But you know what William Shakespeare said about this? Our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt.
Hillier pointed out that in order for entrepreneurs to be actively successful, they must prepare themselves for the available opportunities and be ahead of the curve.
We have to take the initiative. For example, you in your company, you want to get a promotion, don't sit down and wait. What are you doing to educate yourself about your surroundings, about the company? You should be actively studying. Business owners, why wait for when your company is on the verge of failing before you study business management? The only way for you to succeed and for you to pursue an opportunity is for you to take the initiative. We see in the Caribbean that we like to follow each other. You will have 10 places to buy food, and each of those 10 will sell pilau. And then another person will come and sell pilau again. Why should you be the 11th person to sell pilau? I ask everyone here, what do you do differently to differentiate yourself from your competition? This is something that we need to think about in order to access opportunities.
As part of Financial Information Month, countries will host regional initiatives that form part of the 2016 campaign, including business opportunities for teachers, community engagements, and business symposium and innovative forum. This year the topics are policies to support the rise of the creative industry in the OECS and improving the OECS business climate. Financial Information Month is a regional financial, economic, business and entrepreneurial education campaign executed in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union since 2002. It is a collaborative effort of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the ECCU member governments, financial and academic institutions, the media, other private and public sector institutions, and community-based groups. And that's news. Now for a few announcements. The Cultural Division informs all interested cultural groups, schools and individuals that registration is now open for participation in this year's Independence Cultural Competitions. Registration forms can be obtained from the Division of Culture, cultural officers, village council offices and district development officers in your district. The categories include quadrille, ballet, heel and toe, flotation, mazouk, sotis, jingping band, bamboo flutes, mouth organ, drumming asab, court, kokoi turi, quail song, group and individual, kokoi song and creative dance. The registration deadline is Friday, September 16, 2016. The Cultural Division invites all interested poets and writers to participate in this year's Independence Literary Competitions in English poetry, English short story and Creole poetry. Short stories should be no longer than 2,000 words. Poems and stories could have any Dominican or Caribbean theme. 4 copies of each short story or poem accompanied by contact details should be submitted to the offices of the Cultural Division at the Old Mill Cultural Center in Kinfield no later than September 30th, 2016. Entries may also be submitted in Word or PDF format via email to culturaldivision@dominica.gov.dm. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. Live streaming is also available on our YouTube channel 24 hours a day. From all of us here on the news production team, I'm Mervin. Thanks for watching, and do join us again next time for National Focus.